Hey Pisces, welcome back to the channel. I need to talk to you about something that just came up in your reading, and honestly, I was not expecting this energy to show up so clearly. So I just pulled cards for you, and what came through is really interesting because it is about a situation where someone has been working behind the scenes, maybe trying to interfere with your connection or your situation, and the truth is finally coming to light. This is one of those readings where the cards are being very direct about what has been happening in the shadows and how this is going to resolve itself. Before we get into the cards, I want you to know that this reading is specifically about revealing hidden interference and how the universe is handling this situation for you. If you have been feeling like something was off, or like someone has been playing games or trying to create problems in your life, especially around a significant connection, this reading is going to make so much sense. The energy here is really about truth coming forward and certain people being exposed for their actions. Alright, so let me walk you through what I am seeing here because this is quite the journey. The first card I pulled for you is the Queen of Cups, and right away, I can tell this card is representing either you or someone very significant in this situation. The Queen of Cups is deeply intuitive, emotionally mature, and has this beautiful ability to see through illusions. What strikes me about this card showing up first is that it tells me you or this person have actually been sensing that something was not quite right for a while now. The Queen of Cups does not miss emotional undercurrents. She picks up on energy shifts and she knows when someone is not being genuine. This card is telling me that there has been a person in your life who embodies these qualities. Someone who operates from a place of emotional depth and authenticity. If this is you, then you have been using your intuition to navigate a complex situation. If this represents someone else, this is a person who genuinely cares about you and who has been trying to maintain emotional balance despite outside interference. The Queen of Cups energy here is so important because it shows that there is a foundation of real emotional connection and depth that cannot be easily disrupted by external forces. What I find really interesting about the Queen of Cups in this position is that this card often appears when someone has been patient and compassionate, maybe even too patient with a situation. There might have been signs that something was wrong, but the Queen of Cups energy wanted to give people the benefit of the doubt, wanted to believe the best in others, wanted to handle things with grace and maturity. But here is the thing about the Queen of Cups: she is not naive, she is deeply perceptive. So while she may have been patient, she has also been quietly observing and noticing inconsistencies. She has been feeling the energy shifts and storing that information. The Queen of Cups also represents someone who has strong boundaries around their emotional space, even if there has been confusion or interference from outside sources. This energy has been working to protect the emotional integrity of what matters. There is a sense here that this person, whether it is you or someone connected to you, has been the steady emotional anchor through some turbulence. They have not been reactive or dramatic, but they have been very aware. And that awareness is about to become really important as we move through these cards, because what has been sensed and intuited is about to be confirmed in very concrete ways. Moving to the second card, we have the Ten of Pentacles, and this card is absolutely fascinating in this context. The Ten of Pentacles represents long-term stability, legacy, family, and established foundations. When this card appears in a reading about interference and truth being revealed, it tells me that what has been at stake here is something significant and lasting. This is not about a casual connection or a temporary situation. We are talking about something that has real potential for longevity and stability. Something that could build into a substantial partnership or life structure. The Ten of Pentacles energy suggests that someone has recognized the value of what you have or what you could build together. And that recognition might have triggered some jealousy or interference from a third party. Think about it this way: when people see something valuable and stable, especially something that represents security and long-term happiness, it can bring out insecurity in others. There might have been someone who wanted what you have, or someone who felt threatened by the stability and potential they saw developing. What really stands out to me about the Ten of Pentacles here is that it represents something worth protecting and fighting for. This card does not show up for surface-level situations. When you see the Ten of Pentacles, you are looking at something that has roots. Something that people have invested in emotionally and possibly materially. There is a sense of home and belonging here. A feeling that this connection or situation represents real security and comfort. And that is exactly why it became a target for interference. The Ten of Pentacles also tells me that despite whatever has been happening behind the scenes, the foundation itself is solid. The structure is sound. Whatever someone was trying to disrupt, they were working against something that has real integrity and strength. You cannot easily tear down what the Ten of Pentacles represents because it is built on genuine compatibility, shared values, and mutual investment. So while there may have been attempts to create problems or drive a wedge between people, the actual foundation has remained intact because it is real and substantial. There is also an element here about family or community energy. The Ten of Pentacles can indicate that this situation involves not just two people but a broader context. Maybe family opinions, social circles, or community perceptions. The interference might have involved someone trying to influence how others see this connection or trying to create doubt through external voices. But what the Ten of Pentacles is showing me is that the truth of what you are building together is becoming visible to others in an undeniable way. And that is actually working in your favor now. The third card is the High Priestess, and okay, this is where things get really interesting. The High Priestess is all about hidden knowledge, secrets coming to light, and intuitive knowing that goes beyond what can be seen on the surface. When the High Priestess appears in a reading about someone being exposed, it is extremely significant because this card governs everything that happens in the unseen realms. She sees what others try to hide. She knows the truth that people attempt to keep secret. And she has a way of bringing that hidden information forward at exactly the right time. What strikes me most about the High Priestess here is that this card is confirming that your intuition has been absolutely correct. If you have had suspicions about someone or if you have felt like there was more going on than what you could see on the surface, the High Priestess is validating that feeling. You were not paranoid. You were not making things up. You were not overreacting. You were picking up on real energy and real actions that were happening behind the scenes. The High Priestess does not deal in imagination or false perceptions, she deals in truth, even when that truth is hidden from plain sight. The High Priestess also represents the divine feminine energy that protects what is sacred. There is a sense here that the universe itself has been aware of this interference and has been working in mysterious ways to bring the truth forward. You might not have seen how this was going to resolve itself. You might not have known what to do about the situation. But the High Priestess energy has been working on levels you could not see. She has been pulling back the veil, arranging circumstances, and creating situations where the truth would have no choice but to reveal itself. What I love about the High Priestess in this reading is that she represents a kind of cosmic justice that happens when people try to manipulate or deceive. You cannot hide from the High Priestess. She sits at the gateway between the visible and invisible worlds, and she has access to all information. When someone has been working in the shadows, thinking their actions are hidden, the High Priestess has been witnessing everything, and now she is bringing that information forward into the light where it can be seen and understood. There is also something about timing with the High Priestess. She does not rush. She waits for the perfect moment when revelation will have the most impact and when truth can be received and understood properly. So if you have been wondering why certain things did not come out sooner or why this situation has taken time to resolve, the High Priestess explains that the timing of this revelation has been orchestrated for maximum clarity and effectiveness. Everything is unfolding exactly as it needs to. Now we come to the Six of Cups. And this card adds such an interesting layer to this reading. The Six of Cups is traditionally about nostalgia, past connections, innocence, and sometimes about someone from your past returning. But in this context, I am seeing the Six of Cups as revealing something about the nature of the interference. This might be someone from the past who has been unable to let go, someone who has been holding on to old feelings or old dynamics and who has been trying to disrupt your present situation because they cannot accept that things have moved forward. The Six of Cups can represent someone who is stuck in the past, someone who remembers how things used to be and who wants to recreate that, or prevent new connections from forming because they are still attached to what was. This could be an ex-partner, an old friend who had feelings, or someone from your history who has been unable or unwilling to accept that you have moved on to something new and potentially more fulfilling. The energy of this card suggests that this person has been operating from a place of nostalgia and possibly denial about the reality of the current situation. What is really telling about the Six of Cups in this position is that it often represents immature or naive approaches to love and connection. While the energy is not necessarily malicious, it is certainly not evolved or healthy. This is someone who might be idealizing the past, who might be unable to see you as you are now because they are so attached to who you were then, and that attachment has led them to act in ways that are inappropriate and interfering, trying to pull you back into old patterns or trying to prevent you from building something new. The Six of Cups also suggests that this person may have been using emotional manipulation, playing on old memories, trying to evoke sympathy or nostalgia as a way to stay relevant in your life or to create doubt about your current path. They might have been reaching out with messages about the good old days, or trying to remind you of past connections as a way to undermine your present situation. But here is what the Six of Cups is really showing me. This energy is being seen for what it is. The innocent facade is coming down, and people are recognizing that these actions are not coming from a healthy place. There is also something about the Six of Cups that speaks to purity and genuine care being valued over manipulation and games. While this card can represent the person who has been interfering from a place of past attachment, it also represents the pure and genuine qualities of the connection you are protecting or building. The contrast is becoming clear between authentic, mature love and someone who is stuck in immature patterns. And that clarity is helping everyone involved see the situation more accurately. The fifth card is the Three of Swords, and I have to be honest. When this card appeared, I knew immediately that it represents the heartbreak and pain that comes with betrayal being exposed. The Three of Swords is one of the most difficult cards in the deck because it represents emotional pain, hurt, and the sorrow that comes when truth cuts through illusion. But here is what is important to understand about the Three of Swords in this context. This is not about you being hurt in a lasting way. This is about the pain that comes with discovery, with seeing clearly something that you might have preferred not to see. The Three of Swords tells me that there is going to be, or there has, been a moment of real heartbreak, when the truth about this interference becomes fully apparent. This might be the pain of realizing that someone you trusted was working against you, or the hurt of discovering that someone from your past was trying to sabotage your happiness, or the sorrow of seeing how much negativity was being directed at something you care about. The Three of Swords does not show up in readings unless there is genuine emotional pain involved, and that tells me that when this truth comes fully to light, it is going to hurt. But here is what I want you to understand about the Three of Swords in this reading. This pain is part of the healing process. You cannot heal from something you do not acknowledge. You cannot protect yourself from something you refuse to see clearly. The Three of Swords, while painful, is actually a card of necessary revelation. It cuts through denial and forces us to face reality so that we can make informed decisions about how to move forward. The pain is temporary, but the clarity it brings is lasting and valuable. What also strikes me about the Three of Swords here is that it might represent the pain that the person who has been interfering is about to experience when they are exposed. When someone has been working in the shadows and their actions are brought into the light, there is often a moment of devastation for them when they realize they have been caught. And when they face the consequences of their behavior, the Three of Swords can represent the emotional fallout that this person is going to experience as their interference is revealed and rejected. The Three of Swords also speaks to a necessary ending. Sometimes we have to cut away what is not serving us, even when it hurts to do so. There might be a relationship or connection that needs to be completely severed because of what has been revealed. The Three of Swords gives you permission to make that cut, to protect your heart and your peace by removing someone who has proven they do not have your best interests at heart. Yes, it will hurt. Yes, there will be grief, but that grief is the price of freedom and clarity. Our final card is the Magician, and wow, what a powerful card to complete this reading. The Magician is all about manifestation, power, skill, and the ability to transform reality through focused intention and action. When the Magician appears after we have seen truth being revealed and interference being exposed, it tells me that you are stepping into your power in a whole new way. This experience of seeing clearly what has been happening behind the scenes is going to empower you to take decisive action and to manifest the reality you actually want. The Magician has all the tools of the tarot laid out before him, representing complete access to resources and capabilities. This card tells me that you have everything you need to handle this situation effectively and to move forward in a way that serves your highest good. You are not powerless here. You are not a victim of someone else's manipulation or interference. You have the awareness, the resources, the support, and the inner strengths to take control of this narrative and direct it toward the outcome that aligns with your truth. What I love about the Magician in this final position is that it represents conscious creation and deliberate action. This is not about reacting emotionally or getting caught up in drama. This is about clearly seeing the situation for what it is and then making strategic, empowered choices about how to respond. The Magician is a master of all elements, meaning you have access to emotional intelligence, mental clarity, passionate action, and practical grounding as you navigate this situation. You can choose which tools to use and when, responding with precision and effectiveness. The Magician also represents communication and the power of words. Part of how this situation is going to be handled involves clear, direct communication about what has been happening and what will be acceptable moving forward. The magician does not hint or suggest, he states clearly and confidently. There is going to be an opportunity for you or for the people involved in this situation to speak truth clearly and to establish firm boundaries based on what has been revealed. And that communication is going to be powerful and transformative. Finally, the magician represents new beginnings that come from a place of empowerment and consciousness. Once this interference has been cleared and the truth has been established, there is going to be an opportunity to build something new on a foundation of genuine clarity and mutual understanding. The magician tells me that this situation, as painful as the revelation might be, is actually clearing the way for something much better. You are being given the chance to consciously create the kind of connection and life experience you actually want, free from hidden agendas and outside interference. So Pisces, when I look at this reading as a whole, what I am seeing is a complete story arc of truth, revelation, and empowerment. You have the Queen of Cups representing deep intuition and emotional wisdom, the Ten of Pentacles showing what is at stake and why it matters, the High Priestess bringing hidden information to light, the Six of Cups revealing the nature of the interference and who is behind it, the Three of Swords representing the painful but necessary moment of clear seeing, and the Magician showing you stepping into your full power to consciously create what comes next. This reading tells me that if you have been feeling confused or uncertain about it, situation involving a significant connection, that confusion is about to lift. The truth about who has been interfering and what they have been doing is coming to light in ways that cannot be denied or dismissed. And while that truth might bring some pain in the moment of revelation, it is ultimately setting you free to make empowered choices based on reality rather than manipulation or hidden agendas. The message here is clear. Someone who has been working behind the scenes to disrupt your happiness or your connection is being exposed. Their interference is being revealed for what it is. And you are being given all the information and power you need to handle this situation in a way that protects what matters and clears away what does not serve you. Trust your intuition, honor the pain of truth when it comes, and then step fully into your power as the conscious creator of your reality. Can anyone else relate to this energy of finally seeing clearly what has been happening behind the scenes? Drop a comment and let me know if this resonates with your situation.